Okay, this will be an interesting one. This one looks like it could lend itself nicely to a dual colour setup. So I'm going to make this dual colour. I'm going to start with black and yellow. I wonder how this one's going to look. I wonder how big we're going to make it. Going to start at 200 and see how big it actually is. Contrast. I'm going all the way with the contrast, and maybe the copy density could be lightened a bit. Alright, let's see what we've got to introduce. We have here a book called Unholy Ghosts. I don't read this shit. I'm not interested in fiction. If I'm going to read something, I much prefer non-fiction, and it looks as if this is way short of A6. But basically, I much prefer to read non-fiction. For some reason, I just don't have an interest in stories. I'm just not interested in this shit. How big are we going to make this? So I just don't have any interest in fiction that much. I just prefer to read. I don't read much at the moment. I mainly read things off the internet. We're going to start with black and green, actually. I thought we had yellow. But basically, I prefer to read about facts rather than fiction. I don't know why, I just do. Maybe it's because of my curiosity with science and technology and things going on in the world. You know, I just prefer to read news items that I get off the internet primarily. That looks really nice. We just have to make this a little bit bigger on the horizontal. That looks good. That looks so good. You can see the red's turned to green. So, wondering how we're gonna. Actually, I'm just wondering. That's the horizontal. So the horizontal's going to need a little bit of extra work. So we're going to make it 235. But basically, yeah, I just prefer non-fiction, folks. For some reason, I just want to read about real things. And one day I'm going to build a photocopier, and I'm going to have to do a lot of studies on how they work and all the science and all the stuff that goes on inside them. So I've got a lot of studying to do, and I just haven't got the desire or the time to read fiction. Fiction just doesn't appeal to me, folks, as a general rule. I think we're going to make this a bit smaller. So fiction just doesn't interest me as a general rule. It's just too. It just seems trivial to me. That's how I feel. That's my opinion, but you don't have to agree with me, folks, because fiction can be a good escapism. Like if you find yourself on the street and you can't find a house or a roof over your head, one of the good ways of dealing with homelessness or being a rough sleeper is to actually pick up a book and read it. And that could make the difference between life and death. You know, trying to escape, to have a bit of escapism can be a good thing for people who find themselves in situations like that. Now I'm going to make this a bit smaller again. So if you find yourself on the street, it's probably good if you could somehow find a book that, because a lot of people leave books lying around, and you could probably, if you can find yourself a book and read it, and basically, but that's not the solution to actually finding a roof over your head or finding a place to sleep when you're up against the authorities or you're up against other homeless people trying to find a place to rest. But it's better than nothing. It's better than just sitting there waiting for someone to put coin in your hat or in your cup. You still got to let people put coin in your hat and your cup. Don't worry, folks. I'm not against that, because you've got to survive somehow. You've got to fucking survive. And those coins that those people drop in your hat could be the difference between life and death. And basically, how should I put it? But basically, if you can read a book while you're waiting for the coin to drop, while you're waiting to get enough coin to make a meal, well, a book can make your time, potentially make your time less boring and less. It's not a solution in itself, but it's better than nothing. It's what you do when you haven't got anything else. If you can find a fucking book and read it so you can fucking survive, so you have some stimulation in your mind while you're waiting for the coins to be deposited in your hat or in your cup or whatever else you choose to use to collect passers-by donations, you know, all the best for you folks, because you guys are having a hard time and this world is not made in a fair way. There's not enough affordable housing around. All the real estate people just want to jack up the rents and make it near impossible, and the prices of mortgages and that shit is just exorbitant. And these rich people don't give a flying fuck about you. They don't give a flying fuck about me. They care only about money and homelessness, especially the necessity of having to sleep rough, is a fucking capitalist bullshit. The capitalists produce this shit. They fucking don't like seeing people on the street begging around near their workplaces, near their fucking offices. Well, they screw these fucking rich people because they cause the problem, and they got to expect there to be beggars near the fucking office, near their fucking workplace. So they fucking make the problem, and they get angry and try and make them disappear. But how can they disappear? That's the fucking rich people. It's capitalism, folks. That's the end. That's the game of capitalism. And it causes people to fall through the cracks and end up on the street, having to sleep in the cold weather and having to somehow find water to drink on a hot day. And of course the coffee shops don't want you walking into their shops if you haven't got fucking money to spend, so you can't get a cool glass of water. You know, things like that. And what about toilets? It's just ridiculous. Or a dry place to sleep when it's wet. It's fucked. It's wrong, folks. But the rich rule everything. They want you to fucking be submissive to them, and they don't give you any reward for doing what you do, what they tell you to do. They're bullies, folks, just like at school, but only worse. They can kill you. They can kill you because you can't afford anything. You can't afford food. You can't afford something to drink. You know, fuck them. Fuck the stupid assholes. Fuck the fucking capitalist people. They can go screw themselves. See what they've done, and see why is it that karma doesn't seem to get these people. They always seem to win. They always seem to do the wrong thing by mankind, and they win. They sin and they win, and they grin. They're fucking grinners. They're sinners that are grinners, and they're winners. It all rhymes, folks. So these bitches. So keep your nose up. Keep your head up, homeless people. Turn to a book. But I know it's not a solution to finding a place to sleep. But if you can somehow distract yourself for a short time, all the best to you all, folks. All you battlers out there, all the best to yous.